Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are looking at something that is literally a game changer for content creators. We're going to explore exactly how to build a fully automated, entirely free Stickman animation pipeline from absolute scratch. So if you've ever dreamed of launching a successful faceless channel, but you got completely paralyzed by the sheer amount of work involved, pay close attention. The system we're unpacking today changes absolutely everything.
Creating a faceless channel used to be, well, a massive grind. You've got scripting, visualizing, animating, and editing. What takes a professional an hour can swallow an entire weekend for a beginner. It's exactly the kind of barrier that stops most people before they even start. But a centralized AI engine completely flips that script. By utilizing the right sequence of free tools, you basically bypass hours of tedious manual labor. You condense the entire pipeline into just a fraction of the time. And the best part, zero animation degree required. You get all that creative output without the creative burnout.
Here's the blueprint for our assembly line today. We're going to cover the core dilemma, dive into AI topic research, craft the perfect script, map out our visuals, generate the audio and imagery, and finally bring the whole shebang together in the assembly phase.
All right, let's kick things off with stage one, the faceless channel dilemma, and how we actually solve this massive time sink.
To actually solve that creator burnout, we have to entirely stop relying on manual effort and replace it with a very specific suite of free AI tools. We're essentially delegating the heavy cognitive lifting here. Scripting goes to NotebookLM, the scene-by-scene visual planning handled by ChatGPT. The actual character animation is driven by googleflow, and the final assembly happens in CapCut. Every single piece is free, and when you link them together in this exact order, they form a frictionless, well-oiled machine. It's really about letting each tool do exactly what it's best at, seamlessly handing off the baton to the next. Moving right along, let's build our foundation in stage two, AI-powered topic research, where we find out what actually works, safely. Because let's face it, instead of guessing what an audience wants and just hearing crickets, we need to let the data talk. Relying on a gut feeling is pretty much the fastest way to waste your time. So you start by taking 3 highly successful competitor channels, say the Stickman channel's Simple Ways of Life or Productive Peter, and you paste their URLs directly into NotebookLM. By applying a custom topic selector prompt, the AI suddenly becomes your dedicated data-driven researcher and analyzes the specific themes, the title structures, and all those hidden content patterns of those successful channels. When you ask it for 5 fresh ideas, it doesn't just copy them. It synthesizes what already works to give you completely original, demonetization-safe concepts, like, how to rewire your brain to crave hard tasks.
Now that we've got a killer topic, it's time for stage 3, crafting the perfect script. The secret here is learning how to clone a successful creator's style without plagiarizing a single word of their actual content.
So we open a fresh NotebookLM project, right? And this time, we paste in the top 5 performing URLs from just one specific competitor whose style we absolutely love. Using a scriptwriter role prompt, we ask for a 1,000-word script. Now, NotebookLM isolates that creator's exact storytelling rhythm. It absorbs how their hooks open, how they build tension, and how their information escalates to keep viewers watching, which, by the way, is the absolute key to audience retention. The output might open with the automation of laziness and move into the trap of cheap dopamine. It reads exactly like a seasoned creator wrote it. Because we're only cloning the structural blueprint and the psychological pacing, your channel stays incredibly engaging, completely clean, and 100% risk-free.
And that brings us to a crucial pivot in our engine, stage 4, mapping the visual plan using ChatGPT. You see, you can't just jump from a script straight into animation. You absolutely need a strict map. We paste our script into ChatGPT using a visual planner prompt, and the very first thing it outputs is the consistency anchor. This is a visual-based prompt defining the character style, background, and overall vibe. It is literally the secret sauce of this entire pipeline. Without it, your AI Stickman might suddenly grow 3 arms or turn into a photorealistic dog in the very next scene. Generating AI video without a base prompt is just asking for hallucinogenic garbage. The anchor ensures that professional, uniform look from second 1 all the way to the end credits.
Beyond that anchor, this ChatGPT visual plan strictly caps every single scene at exactly 8 seconds. Why 8 seconds? Well, on modern platforms, short scenes keep the pacing incredibly tight. Viewer attention spans are shorter than ever before. This strict limit forces the visuals to constantly refresh, acting as a subtle pattern interrupt that ensures the viewer remains completely locked into the story without their attention drifting off to some other tab. It also intentionally designates 20% of the scenes to be abstract concepts, stats, or dynamic graphics, rather than just the stickman character. Good storytelling doesn't use the exact same character framing for every single second. That gets visually exhausting and repetitive real fast. By breaking the visual pattern 20% of the time with, say, a zooming chart or an expanding brain graphic, it keeps the viewer visually stimulated and engaged on a much deeper level.
With that strict blueprint in hand, we transition smoothly to stage 5, generating visuals and audio, where we actually bring this whole thing to life.
For the manufacturing phase, we log into Google Flow and select the Nano Banana model. First, we input that consistency anchor to generate our base stickman. Then, scene by scene, we upload that base image and apply the specific prompts ChatGPT gave us. The style carries over perfectly. Finally, we switch to video generation. Inside Google Flow, the real trick is keeping motion prompts extremely simple. Instead of writing a massive paragraph like "character runs while waving and jumping over a hurdle," just type "walking." Simple instructions guarantee clean movement, completely avoiding weird AI artifacts and leaving you with a smooth, highly professional animation.
But hey, an animation is really only as good as its audio. For the voiceover, we head over to Google AI Studio. Since we're creating a stickman story format, we absolutely want to avoid that classic, soulless, robotic AI voice that immediately makes people click away. You know the exact voice I'm talking about. Instead, we filter our search by friendly tags. We're looking for a warm, approachable voice that perfectly matches the nostalgic, comforting storytelling vibe of our visual character.
Which brings us to the climax of this explainer, Stage 6, the final AI assembly. Time to snap all these parts together.
So we open up CapCut, and we literally just follow our visual plan piece by piece. Step 1 is laying down the voiceover to act as the skeleton of our edit. Step 2 is syncing our Google Flow animations to that voiceover using our ChatGPT map. Step 3, we strictly use hard, cold cuts for transitions, no flashy wipes or cheesy star transitions. That hard cut style mimics the classic, slightly nostalgic feel of early YouTube storytime animators, which audiences actually implicitly trust. Finally, we balance bright, ambient music from the audio library alongside the incredibly helpful sound effects that Google Flow automatically generated for us.
Let's be real about this workflow for a second. A traditional edit involves hours of staring at a timeline, guessing, moving clips around, and just praying you find the right pacing. It is an emotional drain. But because all the heavy cognitive thinking and structural pacing was already done by our AI visual plan, assembling these pieces is entirely frictionless. It's essentially color by numbers. You can literally edit 30 seconds of high-quality video in about 2 minutes. This pipeline turns a multi-day, frustrating slog into a 30-minute breeze. And just look at the kind of high-quality output this free pipeline actually produces. A script that opens with, "Most people believe that avoiding hard work is simply a matter of laziness or a lack of personal discipline. However, neuroscience reveals," immediately hooks the viewer with intelligence and authority. It's not just random AI clips thrown together. It creates a cohesive, engaging narrative with a perfectly synced character, ambient music, and a genuinely compelling script right from second one.
So, there you have it. You now possess the complete step-by-step blueprint to automate an entire faceless animation engine using nothing but free tools. The technical barriers to entry have officially been removed. The heavy lifting is delegated. So looking at your own goals and interests right now, what idea are you going to bring to life next?